The reason this channel exists is very simply the Japanese Nintendo 64. I spent, I want to say, 6, 7 years completing an entire collection, not complete and boxed. It's mostly cartridges. We'll get to the boxes in a little bit. But I thought what I could do is show you every single game for the N64 that was released in Japan. You're a man out of Japan, Jay Contra, by the way. And we're starting off with Re-Rally 99, a very hard one that I had to search around. Released, obviously, in what I can only presume was 1999. Being a late release Nintendo 64 game, this was difficult to come across. Interestingly enough, developed, or at least published, by Spike. Was it Infogrames that put it out? I don't know. There's the N64, actually, I guess sort of notorious, famous, whichever you want to say, for its racing games, Rally 99 being one of them. It's got a lot of racing games, which I think it could do more than, say, the Sega Saturn, because it could actually render more than 2 polygons at a time. Yes, Shiren the Wanderer 2. A great, amazing 3D roguelike. I've not seen many 3D roguelikes in my day, but Shiren the Wanderer 2. Very great, Japan-only game. Fantastic. Can't recommend it enough. Here's a weird one. This is a Japan-only game. This is, I forget his first name, but Satoi no Basutsuri #1. This was originally, if I'm remembering correctly, this was a Super Famicom, like, Satellaview game that was released in multiple installments. This collects them all. It's a 2000 release. It's very cheap. God, I can't remember his first name. He's the guy who made Earthbound and the original Mother. And he made a fishing game with a cool cast of characters. I played it a little bit. I couldn't understand how to actually fish in the game, so I had to give up on it. But it's very cheap, less than $5, I would say. Another fishing game, Bass Rush, the Eco Gear Power Room Championship. It's fine. The N64 also, weirdly enough, has a bunch of not only just racing games, but mahjong games and fishing games. This is, what is this? Something simulation of Mahjong Do 64. So someone asked me in the comments why I keep some of the price tags on these games. Well, usually it's because I haven't done anything with the game yet. Like, I just picked this up at a hard off. I cataloged it and then I moved on because I was playing something else at the time. You can see here this cost 210 yen at a hard off. That's about $2. I just bought it because I needed to complete my N64 collection, and I haven't played it yet. Mahjong Master, I think I've played it. Oh boy, look at that. That's in real rough condition. What's going on here? I didn't do that, did I? No, that doesn't look like something I would do. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. I don't think I have a double of this anyways. So, yeah, this is Mahjong Master, Konami game. I think it's fine. I've played a few of the Mahjong games, actually. I was trying to do a review of Mahjong games for my channel, especially because they're all N64 exclusives in Japan. And I had to learn how to play Mahjong, so that was very educational and interesting. But I only ended up playing like 4 of the 7 or so that exist for the system. This is Mahjong Classic. I know what the kanji for Mahjong looks like. Just give me that. Give me that. Here we go. This is Susume Taisen Pazuru Dama. What is that? I'm trying to read that. Yeah. Tokon Marutama Cho. This is a weird puzzle game that Konami put out. Actually has become somewhat sought after because it wasn't printed in huge quantities, having come out in what looks like 1998 for the system. I have vague memories of this. I can't remember. I feel like it was almost like a Puzzle Bobble, if memory serves me correctly, which it is probably not. Next we've got, yes, Cho Snow Kizu. This is Snowboard Kids 2, an exceedingly expensive game in the United States. However, this is not the American version, so it's like, what, $15, $20? Very cheap. You probably don't need to understand Japanese to actually play this game. Published by Atlas. I forget that Atlas does things besides Yakuza and Persona. Sometimes hard to remember that. Yes, this is Beast Wars Transformers. What do they call it? Torashisu. Oh man, I don't know. I can't read that. I don't know what's going on. Oh, I didn't notice this. Someone actually wrote on this. I couldn't believe it. I thought this like weird You can see here it's got like permanent marker on here. Somebody owned this previously, and I can't. Aki? I think that's what it is. I think this is the A and this is the key right there. So Aki, oh my God. What is this? Mizuki? Yeah, Mizuki. Wow, that's Japanese cursive when it's completely connecting the lines. And this is obviously written by like an 8-year-old. This is why I have to do these videos, because most of the time when I'm interacting with this cartridge, it's just like, okay, I have this, move, next. It's when I can finally actually look at it up close and see like, well, it was just $3. So, I mean, buying a $3 N64 game, it's like, fine, okay, it's just another box ticked off. Collecting is a disease, by the way. I need to start saying that in all my videos. Mahjong 64, who put this out? I can't tell. No, I don't know. And the label's coming up there. It's probably fine. Oh, and here we go. Onegai Monster. I streamed this years ago. I think it's one of those things where in the late I was going to say late 2000s. God, no, that's too soon. The late 1990s, everyone was trying to copy Pokemon. Onegai Monster, I think, was trying to do the same thing. You have it in other games as well, like Digimon and Zool and Monster Farm. And then you get Onegai Monster, which is, it's fine. Moving to rally games, we've got Top Gear Rally 2. A bunch of Top Gear games that were labeled as such for the N64 in Japan. But I don't think Top Gear was like that popular. Maybe among the road folks, the car heads. I don't know what to call people who like cars in Japan. Maybe they knew about Top Gear, but it has the Top Gear branding. Don't know why. I think Top Gear went to Japan once in the whole series, back in the 1980s or early 90s. FIFA World Cup, a game by EA Sports. The road to the World Cup, by the way, I don't know. I guess it was in 1998. Don't know that much about soccer. I reviewed a bunch of the N64 soccer games. Oh, and I did actually also review. So we've got 2 games here. One on the left is Pro Yaku King. And on the right, Pro Yaku King 2. Pro Yaku King 2 is very rare, as it turns out. It was very hard for me to find. Not that expensive. That's the other thing that I should say about like all of these games, is that none of these are particularly expensive. Like probably the most expensive one is either going to be Cho Snowboard Kids 2. Actually, it might be Shiren the Wanderer 2, just because it's actually like good. Everything else is like less than $5, save for perhaps the Top Gear Rally 2 game, just because it's very difficult to find. But these are 2 baseball games. They're very competent. They're fine. They're not as good, I would say, as the other one that Konami put out. It's like Pro Yaku. We'll get to them. We'll see them eventually. Let's see. We still got a few more minutes, so I can pull out a couple extras. I've got all of the bins here, all of the like 200 games here. Ah, yes, Animal Crossing. This is Doubutsu no Mori. The first Animal Crossing game actually came out for the Nintendo 64. Yes, it was originally going to be a 64 DD game, as I remember reading the Wikipedia article a couple months ago. And then it came out for the N64 on this small cartridge, and you have to be, I think, somewhat amazed that they could fit as expansive a game as Animal Crossing onto an N64 cartridge. And yes, it's limited. It's not as big or as inclusive as the GameCube version, but amazing that it came out at all. And it was quickly turned around to the GameCube, as I recall, because this came out in 2001, and I want to say the same year, or it was 2002 that they came out with the GameCube version in Japan. And they also came out with one that had an e-reader attachment. It's a very interesting story behind Animal Crossing. And then we saw Top Gear Rally 2. Here we've got Top Gear Rally. So powerful in Japan, a release by Kemco, that they ended up coming out with a sequel. And here's the first one. I'm sure it's fine. I'll get around to playing it one of these days. On another Top Gear game. Oh, speaking of Top Gear, we have Hyperbike. I mean, they rode motorcycles in Top Gear sometimes. Maybe in like 5 episodes out of 1,000 episodes they did. So let's just put Top Gear. Let's just put that label. Let's just put that branding on a biking game. Fine. Okay. All right. It's not Excite Bike, but whatever. And another Top Gear game, I think this is all the Top Gear games for the N64 that came out in Japan. We have, also by Kemco, Top Gear Overdrive. How it's different from Top Gear Rally 2, I'm not sure. Probably features racing cars instead of rally cars, but You know, it's a game. It's a game. I'm sure it's perfectly fine. A few extras here. Oh, more racing games. Oh yes, let's see. Here's Choro Q2. This is, of course, the sequel to Choro Q, which I think came out in PAL territories. I'm not sure, but I believe Choro Q2 is a Japanese exclusive. 1999. Haven't played it. Tetris 64 have played. It's 3D Tetris. It's very weird. I prefer 2D Tetris, but Tetris 64 by Sega, I think it's one of these slightly more expensive games because it breaks the $10 mark. It's okay. It's the 3D does make me a little bit wonky. So I would much rather play like the original Game Boy or something else. Here we've got Desigmon 3D. This is a weird game by Athena, released in 1998. This game is basically, you create your own shooting game. You can sort of change up the models, the music. Paint, I don't know what the paint means. I don't know if that means you can just change colors. Like, okay, you can change the colors of your models. That's fine. That's great. But the N64 did not have many scrolling shooters. It's basically this and Star Soldier Vanishing Earth. And then you've got in Sin and Punishment, the rail shooter. That's it. That's basically your shooters. I mean, you've got your first-person shooters. You've got Doom 64, GoldenEye, Perfect Dark. But in terms of scrolling shooters, very few. 2, perhaps 3. Doom 64, by the way, apparently they re-released this for the Switch. I don't know why it was the 64 version. Maybe it's because it's got better music, better graphics. I don't know. Is Doom 64 the definitive version of Doom 64? I'm not sure. Someone in the comments will have to tell me. But I've played Doom. I don't know, was it Quake? I remember my exposure to Quake and Doom was actually via the N64 when I was a kid. I remember there was this weird rental shop outside of the housing development that I lived. And it was like in a trailer. It was very strange. It was in New Mexico. And they had like Shadowgate. They had Doom. They had Quake. So that's sort of how I got my introduction to PC games, was through the N64. And I believe I rented at Blockbuster their copy of StarCraft for the N64. And that got me into PC gaming, and I've not recovered to this day. So that's just a bunch. That's probably like, what, 30 N64 games? I've got 2 more bins of N64 games to go through, and then I have all of my complete in-box copies, which I'll give you a little bit of a preview. If you want to see the studio here, I have loads of N64 games there. But we'll get to those eventually. I want to go through the cartridges first. Let me clear these out so I can get ready for the next video. Hope to see you then. I've been your man out of Japan, Jay Contra. If you like these videos and you'd like to see exclusive videos of game hunting in Japan, help support the channel by going to patreon.com/jcontra. Thanks for watching, and mahalo.